Hey everyone, and welcome to An Eventful Life with Brad Cocks and Shane Buzza. I'm Brad.
And I'm Shane.
An Eventful Life is the podcast where we take you on a journey through eventful lives of inspirational event leaders from around the world.
That's right, Brad. We'll be sharing their stories, impact, and insight into the complex world of events. So if you like these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your mates.
This is An Eventful Life. Hello everyone, and welcome to An Eventful Life. We thought we'd kick things off with a little intro into Shane and myself to get to know us a little bit better. So without further ado, would you please welcome my little co-host here. Hello Buzz, Shane Buzza. What are we calling you, mate?
You can call me Buzz, but I like the reference to my little co-host. Do we get into that? No, we won't get into that.
No, let's not go down there. We just got started.
Exactly.
Hey, this is a sort of a bit of a pre-first episode as you sort of go episode. What are we going to talk about today, mate?
Oh, look, we could probably talk about how this all started. I mean, how cool that we're here. You know, the two of us have been doing events for so bloody long, and you know, it's good to kind of bring amazing people that we've met over the years. But remember when it all started? As in this whole podcast?
I remember part of it. We were sitting in a whiskey bar, and
Yes,
we started with one and ended up with I don't know how many. But no, we talked about the concept of sort of telling inspiring stories, and it's just typical. You know, we were standing around a bar having a chat about everybody in the industry, and then thought we could really get these stories out there and let a few people know sort of who's out there, what's happening, give them a little bit of education and inspiration along the way. But I'm pretty excited for what we've got in store.
And here we are. And I guess what we wanted to do in this part here is just, you know, give the audience a bit of an insight into the two of us. So I'm going to jump straight into it here and ask you a couple of questions.
Oh, look out, I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't seen any of this.
No, but that's okay. just stay with me. Okay,
Righto.
So we'll start off.
Go on.
I mean, this whole podcast is about the events world, but the events world isn't really, wasn't the plan, was it? I mean, am I right in saying that you were originally a bean counter or an accountant, for anyone who maybe isn't in Australia listening to this?
Unfortunately, yes, you are correct to some degree. I thought I'd enter the world through business, so to speak, or my professional life, and accounting came easy, but I did that for a few years and then saw a great big train coming towards me.
Fell asleep, is that what happened?
Oh, mate, I was sitting in an office in a suit and tie looking out a window wearing the same thing every day and went, this is not for me. I was bored as I could come across. It was good skills, don't get me wrong. I learned a lot, and it was a great little start into the world of business, and still use them to this day because, as we know, you know, event professionals are very multi-skilled, and so the finance stuff's sort of come very easy for me. But I got away from that, and I was already dabbling in theatre on the side, so that's sort of that was the initial intro.
Well, before we bore the audience with your accounting stories,
yeah, no, that's all I've ever done.
So you know, you obviously got caught up in the events world at some stage, and you know, at a really strategic level, especially in the times I've worked with you, and what I know of your history. You know, working senior management roles at TA at a pretty relatively young age, and
Tennis Australia, for everyone who doesn't know the abbreviation to TA, but that's all right. Keep going.
Sorry. Yep, nice one. Thank you. Thanks, producers, too. I mean, you know, the corporate space, that's been your sweet spot, really. And from my angle, where your love is, and especially large major events, is that always kind of, was that the way for you?
Yeah, I think so. I just fell into it in some ways. I mean, I had a love for music. I had a love for theatre, obviously, and then sort of coming into corporate events in particular, and then being able to apply the sort of the theatrical showcraft and production techniques that I'd learned in that world into the business world, and then that sort of ended up then down at major events, so things like Tennis Australia and the Australian Open and those major ones, and just being able to transform events. And I think that's probably, you know, where that strategic direction and that love come from. So sort of taking something from where it was to then be able to, you know, sort of work out its journey of where it needed to get to, and then sort of formulate that process. And yeah, I ended up just throwing a lot of showcraft, particularly early in the days. In my younger days, I learnt that stuff pretty quick, and it made a difference, and so I loved it, and that's sort of where the journey began.
Strategic. That's why you make the big bucks. It's all strategic.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And then, look, if we fast forward quite a bit, you know, shitty lockdown, but it led to Events Masterclass for you, and you know, you're now taking that overseas. And look, from my perspective, no one's really surprised that you've gone down this path, but it takes a lot of balls to completely change your direction like that. So what inspired Events Masterclass?
I'll give you the elevator story of it rather than the long-winded one. But yeah, look, lockdown was probably the biggest catalyst. But probably before that, I had a major mental breakdown or physical breakdown way back in 2018, the end of 2018, where my body and brain just completely shut down. I was overworked. I burnt the candle at both ends, way too far beyond than I ever thought was possible. And so I wanted to change direction and get off the tools, so to speak, and stop producing and as much and traveling as much. And as a result, I thought, well, I loved seeing young people develop and the industry develop and new event professionals coming in. So I wanted to be able to help them, and that's sort of where Events Masterclass came from. It was all about a way for me to be able to, share my skills and things that I'd learned and my knowledge from sort of that 20-year producing period into being able to give that back to others and see them shine and prosper and still develop events at the same time.
Yeah.
So being able to sort of work with these events and these companies to still continue to develop it, but working with their people rather than actually working on it.
I mean, I can really vouch for that with my staff. Some of my staff, as you know, have jumped in and taken some of the lessons. But like, what is it exactly? What are they learning by taking Events Masterclass?
Yeah, so Events Masterclass, the COVID iteration of Events Masterclass was very much an online course. So sort of learning how to build your career, to develop skill sets, to understand how to put events together from the creation to the management to the delivery and the whole process from sort of start to finish. That was the first iteration, and we've just launched the second iteration of it, which is very much more still the online courses, but we've got a lot more online courses now, and we're starting to build those out. So things like stage management, venue ops, budgets and finance. You talked about my accounting stuff before, so there's now a little mini course on that.
Are you doing most of it yourself, or do you have a bit of help now?
A little bit of help, yeah. So there's a few people involved now as it's sort of starting to grow. Doing a lot more sort of speaking and workshops and working with teams, and that more hands-on stuff, which is where most of my time is now spent. And into the world of speaking as well, funnily enough, which again, I never thought I'd end up down that path, but really enjoying that. So that's sort of where it is now and hopefully over the next certainly short-term future.
Yeah, nice one.
Righto. You've done me.
Yeah.
It's time for you, mate.
That was good. I'm a bit nervous, so I'm not going to top that. But
come on. I didn't think I'd go anywhere near that. So I'm not going to try and scare everyone as we start off, but let's talk about where you started in this industry. Is it true your original start in the world of events was a charity fundraiser in Toronto, Canada, where you ended up stripping to raise money? Please explain.
Oh, look. Yeah, yes is the answer to that. And
I won't tell you where I got that information, but anyway, keep going.
Oh, look, I don't really hide it from anyone. It's been part of my...
You're proud of it?
Oh, I'm very proud. Well, I was in good nick back then. It was 2009. I was, living an absolute fantasy world of a life in Toronto. And look, without getting into it too much, one thing led to another, and I suddenly found myself, after an all-nighter, by the way, rocking up to a photo shoot, getting my my top off. Photo shoot, became part of the promo for this charity event that we did, which actually ended up all over Toronto. As rock posters style that you have. Yeah, I didn't know they were going to do that.
Plastered all over town.
Yeah, it was in the city.
Have you still got any?
No, I know. I've got the original photo, of course, or the pictures, and look back and go, shit. That was good times. But no, I did that, and it was a lot of fun. And I look back, I didn't even have a run sheet or anything. I had no idea what I was doing, and for me, it was just a bit of fun. And it was like a full Monty style where me and a few other Aussies I knew, we auctioned ourselves off as dates and did a little show on stage. And and all the money went towards a charity in Toronto. To be honest, I actually can't remember what the charity was. I think
You're
it was
so caught up in your own space.
A little bit, yeah. It was like energy or I don't know, some shit. But
it's the cause that mattered, mate.
It was a great way to meet a couple of women. Anyway, next question.
Let's keep moving along. Well, after that, how could you not fall in love with the industry? Hey, you came back to Melbourne and started in venue operations at Melbourne Park, so we sort of crossed over. I think we were sort of slightly different
briefly.
Periods, but you focused then on producing corporate events in particular. What made you decide this was going to be your life? Because I assume it wasn't stripping in Canada that probably said, this is for me forever.
No, I probably put on a bit of weight and I couldn't do it anymore. But no, look, I as you say, did some work with Melbourne Park. Forever thankful to Kathy Ashton for giving me an opportunity.
Good friend of ours. Yeah,
she's beautiful, and she saw something in me and provided me with an opportunity in the corporate space, which is not really my sweet spot, but I gave it a go, and the learnings from that experience through Kathy, through Amanda Walker, who was one of my managers there, the work ethic and the attention to detail, and I got my hands dirty while I was there, which was not the norm in that environment, in the role I was doing, but I learnt so many great people. I, really had a lot of soundboards at Melbourne Park too. And it was, I didn't really want to leave Melbourne Park, but at the same time, it was a great, I guess, somewhat, it's a bit of an initiation, but I wanted to branch out and see more. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice. The world of event operations is particularly probably your forte. One of the go-to guys, I would say now, with the work you do with Blue Event Productions and your team down there that you've built from the ground up. I really like your no bullshit approach to get your hands dirty, which you just referenced about. You're hardworking and solutions in simplifying events to get the job done. I'm curious, have these always been personality traits that you have now carried over into your work and what you guys do down at Blue?
I guess, like, unintentionally, yes. It's always been what I love to do, which is get my hands dirty. And by that I mean, help people unload the trucks or set up whatever we're setting up or lay the carpets down or whatever it is. But I like to lead, love to lead. I love to have a team around me, but I can't stand and point. And that's been one of my little expressions, I guess, is don't stand and point. It's just not my jam. And I mean, that's no other real way to answer that, in that, I just like to really be part of the creation, I guess, and be part of the team. Maybe there's a bit of FOMO. I don't want to miss out. I want to be a part of it all. And
I guess that's sort of where I'm going with Blue Event Productions in particular. You guys are very much that event management, producing side of things and doing all the paperwork, but you're still getting down in amongst it with all the guests and with all your suppliers and doing the hard physical work at the same time, as opposed to sort of having a separate entity sort of run that. So it's from full planning to execution in its truest form. Yeah,
you're right. And there isn't much we say no to. But I guess as far as the business model, when I started, I just wanted to be a team of event producers who had skill sets across the board, but were also able to be a part of the implementation of not just the theoretical and the planning, but the operational elements as well. And with my team that I now have, and I feel I've really led through example of showing them the work ethic that's required, and to our detriment sometimes, to be honest. We go above and beyond, but it is what it is. We get it done. But it's, as you say, the no bullshit approach. That's something that I really wanted to carry because it's me as a personality. Yeah. It's just not. Look, I'd talk about Melbourne Park and not really wanting to leave. I just wasn't really cut.
Gelling in the corporate space?
I wasn't cut to be a part of that environment as great as it was. And I mean, look how awesome it is now. I love going there, and I still see some old mates and got along, but I just didn't really fit the type, I guess. And which is what's led me to now be my own boss, because that way I can swear and wear shorts like you referred to, and nobody minds. So, yeah. All right, so is that enough on me? Because I
think that's enough.
I'm getting a bit nervous. Yeah,
that's all right. So that's right. I haven't got anything else there for you. We could talk about it for ages, but let's not do that.
No, that's okay. I'm going to jump into some rapid fire questions for you. I think you got a couple for me, but
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
go on. You go first.
And we don't know each other's questions here. All right. So my first one. All right. So first rapid fire question: who's the most famous person you've directly addressed or spoken to in a meeting?
Oh, that's a tough one, mate. Straight off the bat. My memory is terrible, but look, we'll go with the first thing that comes into my mind, and I'm sure I'll think of someone else later. But General Peter Cosgrove, or the Governor General Peter Cosgrove, who used to be the Governor General of Australia. So for those that are not in Australia and don't understand who the Governor General is, he's effectively above our Prime Minister, reports into the King.
The real deal.
The real deal, yeah. But he's this big, commanding presence guy in uniform. And he came in and we had to brief him for an event once, and I was like, oh, he's standing right in front of me, I better not mess this up. But there's been a couple of others along the way. Funnily enough, not like celebrity entertainers. They've probably been more the corporate sort of guys. Can I answer one more? I told you I'd think of one more.
Sure,
so
go.
There's the King of Qatar, effectively.
Oh, wow.
He's smaller than me. Now, I'm only 168 centimetres tall, so I'm little, but this guy's tiny. And talking about command presence, everyone stands with their hands behind their back as he walks past, and he's a scary, scary little man. So, but lovely. But I tell you what, everyone was petrified of him.
Look,
anyway,
I wasn't expecting either of those. That's not bad. Okay, second one. What's your answer if and when your kids come up to you and they say you want to work in events?
Sure, I guess. No, look, I've always been... I believe I would support the kids in anything they want to do. I've got two young kids, and one of them's probably going down, not necessarily going down the events path, but certainly the entertainment path at the moment. Very, very interested in that space. And I've got the other one who just loves having a party. So they both could end up down there. So who knows? But no, I support them in anything they want to do. So, I'd probably try and advise them where I can on the things that I've learned along the way.
I bet. Yeah, nice.
There you go. Is that it? That's all you got? Two?
Yeah,
right, I'm going to give you two.
That was gentle. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty easy. That was all right. I was worried there because I never know what's going to come out of your mouth. So anyway, righto, I'm going to come straight back at you then.
Okay.
AFL football. And I'm
in a good mood.
Football Club.
I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, come on. And your Carlton Football Club, along with music, are your two loves. So Carlton Footy Club and music. If you had to choose a Carlton premiership or spending a week on tour with the Foo Fighters, what would you choose?
Wow. Oh, that's brutal. That's fucking brutal. Sorry. I'd go Foo Fighters.
Decisions. Foo Fighters.
Yeah, I'd go Foo Fighters. They're do I really need to explain? Why? It's Foo Fighters. Yep, that's my answer.
Right,
Dave Grohl.
Done. Moving on. Jeez, you won't be popular down at Carlton. Anyway, next one. Sunday is known as Vinyl Sundays at your place. And you can reference your Instagram if anyone wants to find that. What's your go-to karaoke song to belt out to your neighbours? Please tell me it's Nickelback.
Oh, fuck, Nickelback. No, no offense, Nickelback fans, no, but it is not Nickelback.
What is it?
Oh, this is going to shock you. I love Love Shack karaoke.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
That is not what I thought.
Oh, wait. No, let me answer that again.
Okay, go on.
No, Faith. George Michael.
Oh.
Faith.
All right. See, I had two for one. You can have two for another.
Yeah.
So
George Michael.
between the two.
Yep. Done.
Love it. Hey, mate, I'm really excited about getting into this season and Eventful Life in general. So it's there's some great interviews we've got lined up and a lot coming forward. So can't wait to get into it with you and looking forward to the journey as we dive in, and hopefully all our listeners are on board with us and enjoy the stories as they continue to roll out.
Yeah, and I just hope that people listening, they take a lot from this, because it's not an educational piece per se, but just to learn about our listeners and the industry and how it all morphs together and the weird and wonderful, opportunities, incidents, whatever you want to call them. But that's what we want to share.
Absolutely amazing. So, looking forward to it. There's a lot on the long list, both season one and hopefully beyond that. But very much looking forward to
if we can afford you for season 2.
Oh, mate, ease up. So it goes the same way for you. So, look forward to it. And here we go.
Cool.